I stared at my phone, watching it ring at 9:47 p.m. on a Tuesday. The name on the screen made my heart skip. Margaret Chen, my accountant for the past 15 years. In all that time, she'd never called after 6 p.m., let alone at this hour. "Margaret?" I answered, trying to keep the concern out of my voice. "Richard." Her voice was tight, controlled in a way I'd never heard before. "I need you to come to my office first thing tomorrow morning. 8 a.m. sharp." "What's going on? Is there a problem with the quarterly taxes?" There was a pause, and I could hear papers shuffling on her end. "Richard, I need you to promise me something. Whatever we discuss tomorrow, you cannot mention it to Brian. Not a word. Do you understand?" My son's name hung in the air between us like a lead weight. Brian, my oldest, who'd been helping me manage my finances since my wife Carol passed away 14 months ago. "I don't understand. Why wouldn't I?" "Please, Richard, just promise me. This is important." Her voice cracked slightly. "I've been going over your accounts for a property tax filing, and I found some irregularities, things that don't add up. I need to show you in person, and I need you to come alone." My mouth went dry. "Margaret, you're scaring me." 8 a.m. tomorrow. My office. "And Richard, don't check your accounts tonight. Don't log into anything. Just come see me first." She hung up before I could respond. I sat in my recliner, the same one Carol and I had picked out together at that furniture outlet in Tacoma, and stared at the dark TV screen. The house felt too quiet, too empty. It had been like this since Carol died lung cancer, stage 4, gone in 6 months. Brian had been wonderful through it all. He'd taken time off from his job at the tech firm, helped me sort through Carol's things, set up automatic bill payments so I wouldn't have to worry. He'd even moved back home for a few months to keep me company. I glanced at the photos on the mantel. Brian at his high school graduation. Brian's wedding to Amanda 5 years ago. Brian and Amanda at Christmas last year. Both of them smiling, holding champagne glasses. Amanda in her designer dress. The one Brian said cost more than my first car. I didn't sleep that night. At 7:45 a.m., I pulled into the parking lot of Chen and Associates. Margaret's silver Lexus was already there. Through the window, I could see lights on in her office. I'd driven past Brian's condo on the way here. His BMW was in its usual spot. He had no idea where I was. Margaret opened the door before I could knock. She looked like she hadn't slept either. Her usually perfect hair was pulled back in a messy ponytail, and there were coffee stains on her blouse. "Thank you for coming," she said, ushering me inside. "And thank you for coming alone." Her office was different than I remembered. The normally neat desk was covered in manila folders, printouts, and yellow legal pads covered in her handwriting. Post-it notes were stuck to her computer monitor. "Margaret, what's all this?" She gestured to the chair across from her desk. "Sit down, Richard. Please." I sat. My hands were shaking. She opened the first folder slowly, deliberately, like she was handling something that might explode. "2 weeks ago, you asked me to handle the property tax assessment for your house and the rental property on Maple Street. Standard stuff. But when I requested the financial documents from your bank to verify the property values and your current assets, I noticed something odd." She turned the first page toward me. It was a bank statement from my primary checking account. "Do you recognize this transaction?" She pointed to a line highlighted in yellow. March 15th. Electronic transfer to Cascade Property Management. $4,200. I squinted at the page. Brian handles the rental property. That's probably the management fee or maintenance or something. That's what I thought too. She pulled out another statement. But here's April 15th. Same amount. $4,200 to Cascade Property Management. Another page. May 15th, June 15th, July 15th. Every single month since Carol passed away. $4,200. I don't understand. The rental property needs maintenance. Brian's been taking care of it. Margaret's jaw tightened. She pulled out a different document. This one looked official, with a corporate letterhead. "I called Cascade Property Management yesterday. Told them I was handling your accounts and needed to verify the payments." "Richard, They've never heard of you. They don't manage any property on Maple Street. They don't have any record of receiving payments from your account. The room tilted slightly. That's impossible. Brian showed me the invoices. He said, Brian created fake invoices. Margaret's voice was gentle but firm. He's been transferring $4,200 every month from your account to an account he controls. That's $58,800 since your wife died. I couldn't breathe. The numbers swam before my eyes. $58,000. There's more, Margaret continued. She opened another folder, and this one was thicker. I went deeper into your accounts with your standing authorization, of course. I found other transactions that concerned me. She spread out several pages. Do you remember giving Brian power of attorney last February? Yes? He said it would make things easier, in case something happened to me, or if I got sick like Carol. He said it was just a precaution. Look at this. She slid a document across the desk. It was a power of attorney form, dated February 14th, Valentine's Day, less than a month after Carol's funeral. My signature was at the bottom. Except it wasn't my signature. I picked up the paper, holding it close. The signature was close, very close, but the R in Richard was wrong. I always loop it twice. This one only had one loop. He forged this? I whispered. Margaret nodded. With that forged power of attorney, Brian has been accessing your investment accounts. Look at these transactions. She showed me another set of statements. He moved $125,000 from your retirement fund into a high-risk trading account. Then he's been making withdrawals. Small amounts at first, $2,000 here, $3,000 there. But in the last 3 months, it's gotten bigger. $15,000 in May, $22,000 in June, $31,000 in July. My vision blurred. I realized I was crying. He's also been paying off credit cards that aren't in your name. She showed me a series of payment records. American Express, in Amanda's name. Nordstrom, Neiman Marcus, Tiffany, and Co. An average of $8,000 per month going to pay for Amanda's shopping. But Brian has a good job. He makes 6 figures. He lost that job 8 months ago, Margaret said quietly. I have a friend who works in HR at his company. She confirmed it. He was let go last November for attendance issues. The room was spinning now. He's been lying about going to work every day. And he's been using your money to maintain the lifestyle he and Amanda are accustomed to. The condo, the car payments, the country club membership, it's all coming from your accounts, Richard. I put my head in my hands. Brian, my son, the boy I'd taught to ride a bike, to throw a baseball, to balance a checkbook, the man who'd held my hand at Carol's funeral and promised me I'd never be alone. How much? My voice sounded far away. How much total? Margaret pulled out a calculator and a summary sheet she'd clearly prepared. Between the fake property management payments, the unauthorized investment withdrawals, Amanda's credit card payments, and about a dozen other smaller transactions I flagged. $287,000 over 14 months. I thought I might vomit. There's something else. Margaret's voice got even softer. Last week, Brian submitted paperwork to refinance your house. The mortgage you and Carol paid off 10 years ago. He was trying to take out a $400,000 home equity line of credit. What? I never authorized that. He used the forged power of attorney. The bank caught it because they needed your verbal confirmation, and when they called your number, the real one they had on file, you didn't answer. So they put it on hold. That's actually what prompted me to look deeper into your accounts. I stood up, paced to the window, looked out at the parking lot. A young mother was getting her toddler out of a minivan. Normal people doing normal things. My life was falling apart, and the world just kept spinning. What do? I asked. First, we document everything. I've already made copies of all these statements, but we need to go to your bank and get official records. Then we need to revoke the power of attorney, the real one and the forged one. After that, she hesitated. After that, we need to call the police. The police? Margaret, that's my son. Richard, this is elder financial abuse. It's a felony in Washington state. He's systematically stolen nearly $300,000 from you. He's committed fraud, forgery, and embezzlement. This isn't a family disagreement. This is a crime. I sank back into the chair. He's going to go to jail. Probably, yes. His life will be ruined. Margaret leaned forward, her eyes intense. Richard, he's ruining your life. If we hadn't caught this, he would have mortgaged your house. You would have lost everything Carol left you, everything you and she built together. He's counting on you loving him too much to stop him. I thought about Carol. What would she say if she were here? She'd always been the practical one, the one who made the hard decisions. She'd say, protect yourself. She'd say, this isn't the son we raised. She'd say, you deserve better. Okay, I said finally. Tell me what we need to do. The next 4 hours were a blur. Margaret and I went to my bank, Northwest Federal, where Carol and I had banked for 32 years. The branch manager, Tom Riley, had known us for decades. His face went pale when Margaret laid out the evidence. Mr. Morrison, I am so sorry, he kept saying. We should have caught this. We should have noticed. They printed out 2 years' worth of statements. Every transaction, every transfer, every payment. Margaret had been right. It was worse than she'd initially found. Brian had been stealing from me even before Carol died, just in smaller amounts. It totaled $312,000. Tom helped us revoke the power of attorney immediately. He also froze my investment accounts and put alerts on everything. He won't be able to touch another penny, Tom promised. By the time we left the bank, it was almost 2 p.m. Margaret drove us to the police station. She didn't trust me to drive. I was shaking too badly. Detective Sarah Okoye met with us in a small conference room. She was younger than I expected, maybe 40, with kind eyes and a no-nonsense demeanor. She listened to everything, took notes, examined the documents Margaret had brought. This is one of the clearest cases of elder financial abuse I've seen, she said. The forged signature on the power of attorney is enough by itself. With this level of theft, Mr. Morrison, your son is looking at multiple felony charges. We're talking years in prison. What happens now? I asked. We need to get a formal statement from you. Then we'll get a warrant for his arrest. Given the amount involved and the evidence, a judge will issue that today. We'll pick him up tomorrow morning. Tomorrow? My heart hammered. That soon? We can't risk him destroying evidence or moving assets once he realizes, The element of surprise is crucial. I gave my statement. It took 2 hours. Detective Okoye recorded everything, asked me to go through specific transactions, dates, conversations. She asked about Brian's behavior over the past year. Had he seemed stressed, desperate, different in any way? I thought about it. He's been cheerful, I said finally. Happier than I've seen him in years. He and Amanda went to Maui in March. He said they got a good deal, but now I'm guessing. He paid for it with your money, Detective Okoye finished gently. By the time I got home, it was almost 6 p.m. My phone had 3 missed calls from Brian. The voicemails were casual, cheerful. Hey, Dad, just checking in. Want to grab dinner tomorrow? My treat. The last one said, also, I need you to sign some paperwork for the property taxes. Margaret Chen sent it over. No rush, but whenever you have a chance. He had no idea. He thought everything was fine. He thought he'd gotten away with it. I didn't call him back. That night, I sat in the living room and looked at photo albums. Carol and I, on our wedding day, 42 years ago. Brian, as a baby, as a toddler, at his first day of school. His younger sister Melissa's photos were mixed in her college graduation, her wedding to David. Melissa lived in Portland now. We talked every week, but she had her own life, her own family. I opened my phone and stared at her contact. I needed to tell her. But what would I say? Your brother is a thief. Your brother stole your inheritance. Your brother destroyed this family. The phone rang. Melissa. As if she'd sensed something. Hey, Dad, she said warmly. Just calling to say hi. How are you doing? I started crying. Great. Heaving sobs that I couldn't control. Dad? Dad, what's wrong? Are you okay? Are you hurt? Through the tears, I told her everything. The phone call from Margaret, the bank statements, the forged signature, the $312,000, the police report. There was a long silence when I finished. "Melissa, I'm here." Her voice was tight, controlled. She sounded just like Carol when she was furious. "Dad, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." "When is he being arrested?" "Tomorrow morning." "Good." That son of a she caught herself. "I'm driving up tonight. I'll be there by midnight. You shouldn't be alone right now." "You don't have to." "Dad, I'm coming." David agrees. "We're packing now." True to her word, Melissa and David arrived at 11:47 p.m. Melissa hugged me so tight I thought my ribs would crack. We sat up until 3 a.m., going through everything. Melissa's anger was white-hot, controlled but devastating. "I knew something was off," she said. "Last Christmas, Amanda was wearing a Cartier bracelet. I asked her about it, and she got weird, changed the subject. That bracelet is like $15,000, Dad. Brian told me he got a big bonus at work." "He lost his job in November," I said. "I know. You told me." She shook her head. "And I didn't push. I didn't want to seem jealous or petty. But I knew. Something in my gut knew." David, always practical, asked about my finances. "With $312,000 gone, are you going to be okay? Do you need help?" I'd been thinking about this. I'll be okay. Carol and I were careful. We saved. The house is paid off. I have Social Security, my pension from Boeing. The investments he didn't drain should recover. I won't be rich, but I won't be destitute. "What about getting the money back?" Melissa asked. Detective Okoye said the DA will push for restitution as part of any plea deal or sentence. But realistically, Brian and Amanda have probably spent most of it. Their condo, their cars, their lifestyle, it's all financed by my money. When they lose all that, there won't be much left to recover. At 8 a.m., Detective Okoye called. "We're executing the warrant now. I wanted you to know before you saw it on the news or social media." My phone buzzed 20 minutes later. Brian, then Amanda, then Brian again. Then a text from Brian. "Dad, what's happening? Why are the police here? Call me, please." I turned off my phone. Melissa and David stayed with me all day. We didn't turn on the TV. We didn't check social media. We just sat together, the three of us, in the house where Melissa and Brian grew up. At 2 p.m., Detective Okoye came to the house in person. He's been arrested and charged. 4 counts of felony theft, 2 counts of forgery, 1 count of elder abuse. His bail is set at $250,000. "Will he make bail?" I asked. "His attorney is working on it. But given that his assets are from stolen funds, it's complicated. He might sit in jail until trial." After she left, Melissa said, "Dad, you know Amanda's going to call you. She's going to beg. She's going to cry. She's going to say Brian made a mistake, that he was stressed, that he's sorry. I know. You can't give in. You can't drop the charges. This isn't your fault, and you don't owe them mercy. They never showed you." I nodded, but inside I was already dreading it. The pleading, the manipulation, the guilt they'd try to make me feel. Amanda called 3 days later. Brian was still in jail, unable to make bail. Her voice was small, broken. "Richard, please, you have to drop the charges. Brian made a mistake. He was under so much stress after losing his job. He didn't mean to hurt you. He loves you. He's your son. He stole over $300,000 from me, Amanda. He forged legal documents. He lied to me every single day for over a year. We'll pay it back. I swear, we'll pay back every penny. Just drop the charges. Please. He's in jail, Richard. Your son is in jail. He put himself there. How can you be so cold? What would Carol say?" That did it. That snapped something in me. Carol would say I should have seen this coming. She never trusted you, Amanda. She thought you were materialistic and shallow. But I defended you because you made Brian happy. But you didn't make him happy. You made him desperate. Desperate enough to steal from his own father. That's not fair. You spent my money on designer clothes and jewelry while I ate canned soup and used grocery store coupons. You went to Maui while I couldn't afford to fix the leak in my roof. You lived in luxury off my wife's death, and now you want me to drop the charges? Richard, please. I hung up. She didn't call back. The trial took 7 months. Brian's attorney tried everything, claiming Brian had implied permission, that it was a misunderstanding, that I was mentally unfit and didn't know what I was authorizing. Margaret and Detective Okoye demolished every argument with documentation. The jury took 4 hours to find him guilty on all counts. At sentencing, the judge asked if I wanted to make a statement. I stood up, looked at my son, thinner now, wearing an orange jumpsuit, his eyes hollow, and I said, "I loved you more than my own life. I would have given you anything if you'd just asked. But you didn't ask. You stole. You lied. You betrayed everything your mother and I taught you. I don't know who you became, but you're not the son I raised. I hope prison gives you time to figure out who you want to be, because the person you are now is someone I don't recognize." Brian was sentenced to 8 years in state prison, with credit for time served. The judge also ordered full restitution, $312,000 plus interest, though Brian's attorney admitted there was no way his client could pay it. Amanda divorced him 6 weeks after sentencing. She moved back to California to live with her parents. I never heard from her again. Melissa and David moved me to Portland a month later. "You shouldn't be in that house alone, Dad," Melissa insisted. "There are too many memories, too much pain. Come live near us. We found a great 55-plus community. You'll have your own place, but we're 10 minutes away." I sold the house, the rental property too. Started over in a smaller place, closer to my daughter and her family. I see my grandkids, Melissa's 2 boys, every week now. We have dinner every Sunday. Brian sent a letter from prison about a year ago. It was full of apologies, explanations about how he got in over his head with debt, how Amanda pressured him, how he never meant for it to go so far. He said he understood if I couldn't forgive him, but he hoped someday we could rebuild. I haven't responded. Maybe someday I will, but not yet. The wound is still too fresh. People ask me if I regret turning him in, if I wish I'd handled it differently, kept it in the family, given him a chance to make it right on his own. The answer is no, because Brian didn't make a mistake. He made hundreds of calculated decisions over 14 months. He could have stopped at any point. He could have confessed. He could have asked for help. Instead, he chose to keep stealing. And if Margaret hadn't caught it, he would have taken everything. I think about Carol sometimes, wonder what she'd think of all this. Part of me believes she sent Margaret that instinct to look deeper, to check those statements, to call me that night. Carol always protected me. Even from beyond the grave, she made sure I'd be okay. I'm 73 years old now. I spent the first 72 years building a life, a family, a legacy. Brian tried to take all of that in 14 months, but he didn't succeed. I'm still here. I still have Melissa and David and my grandkids. I still have my dignity and my independence. And I learned something important. Sometimes the people who claim to love you the most are the ones who hurt you the deepest. But that doesn't mean you're alone. Real love, the kind Carol showed me, the kind Melissa shows me, the kind Margaret showed me by making that difficult phone call, real love protects. It doesn't take. I'm one of the lucky ones. I had someone looking out for me. Not everyone does. If you're reading this, if you have elderly parents or relatives, please pay attention. Check their accounts. Ask questions. Don't assume everything is fine just because someone says it is. Because by the time you see the red flags, it might already be too late.